All right, another night, another little live. So I'm just mad keen to get this set built now, to be honest. So just cracking on with these, try and get through it a bit more. So we're on the bag 12 now, so we're making good progress. So I'm just going to keep building here whilst a few people maybe sort of join in. Still a bit on the quiet side there at the minute, so. There's only so fast I can build when I'm working off these silly instructions, to be honest. But I'll get there. Get there in good time. Alright guys, so anyone who's just tuning in there, I'm just carrying on our build of the Bricklink Designer Series 2 set, Brick Cross Station 910034 by Marcus Garavelli. This is it just in the background here, if anyone can see it. So we're getting rightly through. We're up to bag 12 now. I think there's about, I think there's about 18 or so bags in total, so not a huge amount left to go. So I'm just sort of up in the ante here to try and get this finished. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's in the right place. Yeah, the HJ Kilts reckons I should build faster, but as I said time and time again, I'm not a huge fan of the digital instructions, and I just find them a wee bit harder to sort of work off, so that's kind of slowing me up a wee bit, but we're gonna get through it. And plus, once it's done, and sure, where's the fun in that? It's kind of nice to enjoy the build a wee bit as well. How is everybody doing anyway? Hope you're all well. How's your Tuesdays been? Oh, I hate. So a couple of those little window panes to put in now to the frames, which is a bit of a tedious job. So I'll have to get through that here. I think in total, what have we got? 4, 4, 4, 12 windows in total then, so that'll be a little bit repetitive, but it'll look good when it's done. Suspicion there's going to be a few more of them before the end of this bag. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey guys, everyone that's just joined, thank you very much for popping in. Make sure to say hello in the chat. Drop us a wee like. Let us know what you're up to. Just building a Bricklink Designer program set from Series 2. So this is one of the stations for my layout. I haven't really touched too much on my layout yet in my channel, sort of in any depth. I'm sort of still in the process of unboxing all of my Lego, but I do plan to have a fairly significant layout, which will be heavily rail focused. So I've built a few of the kind of more train focused sets from the Bricklink Designer program. I did the old engine shed as well, which was a really cool build. So yeah, I thought this would be a sort of good build to sort of crack on with, and then I can get it sort of placed up in my up in my Lego room in the layout and sort of use that as kind of a foundation for how I'm gonna sort of lay out the track and stuff. So, but how's everybody else doing? What's everybody else building at the minute? Yeah, at this point I just kind of really want to get finished with this set. I really like I don't want to see it sort of completed and done. So what am I missing? I think that's right. And then a six plate, no 1 plate. Yeah, I've sort of alluded to it a number of times. I do really struggle. These sets don't come with they don't come with physical instructions, so it's all just digital instructions. So I'm working away as best I can here with them, but they're kind of quite small on the screen. They're quite difficult to see, so it kind of slows things up a little bit as well. But well, no choice really but to persevere. Okay, I guess I could print them out and have them on paper beside me as well, but that just feels like a waste of paper really. Okay, so that's kind of building up the sort of rear facade of the building now. The section up above the the platform. I'll maybe just give you a wee look at sort of what I've built up to date. So this is the station in its entirety. Interior wise, it's quite open, which is quite nice. So we've just got like a little piano in there in the corner, the nice sort of gateway at the front, and then the stairway there as well, which leads up to the top section. Around this side, then we have a little kitchen on the top, which is there's a little cafe on the other side, and then this does open. There we go, and we just have a little sort of little newsagent style shop down in the bottom floor there. It's quite hard to see into, but there's just drinks and stuff there, and then you can see in the front here there's just some nice some little tiles that represent newspapers. And then around this side, there's a heart, we have this little cafe then that we're kind of building up at the minute. So that's that. And then on the rear we just have the platform here with the ticket machine, our little route destination map, and a few other bits and pieces. I've also built this onto plates rather than the base plates that come with the set. I just like to build my builds that way, to be honest. So all my all my builds will be built in a mills format, but on plates rather than on base plates. So yeah, that's just a wee overview of the set anyway. That's kind of what we're up to with it. Like I said, we're probably the guts of at least halfway through it, so we're making some decent progress. We should get it finished very soon. Let me know in the comments anyway what you think. It's a pretty cool set, I must say. Hi Vladimir Pudding, how are you? Hope you're well. Thanks for joining the chat on the stream. How are you? Yeah, it really does. It's so cool. I'm really glad I picked it up. I say I'm a bit of a sucker for sort of anything railway based. But this was a must get whenever I saw it. I must say, like the designers, I'm really good as well. Thank you. I've had a day off today, and was the children and all were away as well. So a nice quiet day. But yeah, the designers done a really good job with these sets. I must say they've sort of really outdone themselves. It's such a good sort of attention to detail. There's a piece here and I can't quite work out where it goes. Jalapenos, hot mustard, and cheese. That's your favourite something? Yeah, no, these sets are really cool. Obviously, with them being Bricklink designer sets, they kind of have to meet a certain design criteria as well. So there's a lot of things that kind of have to be done to sort of allow it to pass the criteria and sort of go forward as a set that can be chosen. Sort of the most notable one probably is that it can't be modular, sort of in the way that the the Lego buildings are modular, which is why it has that little section on the side of the cafe that sort of hinges open to give you access to the cafe, because obviously they can't have a roof on there that comes off, so it's quite good the way they've done that anyway. So I'll hopefully get this set finished now within the next couple of nights. And then don't know what I'll crack on with next. I'm building lots of sort of little sets as well. You can check out my Instagram through those as well if you want to have a look at what I've been sort of building more recently. A lot of little smaller kind of display sets. Built the Disney Pixar Luxo Junior light. It was really cool. Really liked it. Yeah, it is sort of displayed up there somewhere. Can't really see it on the camera, but it is up there. Anyone that's just joined in on the stream, thank you very much. How are you? Drop us a wee hello in the chat if you fancy it. A little like wouldn't hurt either. You don't even have to like me, you can just like the set. How's that? Balls. That was a bit of I just had a wee accident there. Right, there we go. There's just this little piece of greenery kind of on the side of the sort of section above the platform in this set, and I do have a habit of whacking it with my hand quite frequently, and it's not the most sort of stable pieces. That's probably one of the only downsides with these sets. They're probably not as rigorously tested as sort of the more official Lego sets would be prior to releasing, so there are some little parts that can be quite fiddly and foodery sometimes. I actually recently built the Wild West train from one of the more recent series, and whilst the train itself was a phenomenal build, some of the little mini builds that came with it were challenging to say the least. There's like a water tower that was built from like a lot of sort of pipes and sort of connectors and stuff like that, and it was very, very, very fragile. So every time you tried to sort of connect it and put the pieces down, then the pieces above it broke off, and it was an absolute chore to put together. Now, to be fair, it looks lovely once it's finished. Yes, I have. I have built Rivendell. Hey Jane and friends, built Rivendell, and I think that's it. I also have Barad-dûr and the Shire. Rivendell's truly phenomenal. It's one of the best sets I think that Lego have ever released. But it's not in this room, unfortunately, so I can't show you. Here you also have some brickheads from the line as well, but I don't know if I have any intentions of doing anything with them, to be honest. I started to collect brickheads sort of as a little something that I quite enjoyed. They're relatively inexpensive and they look quite cool, but it's just too many of them. I can't be bothered anymore, to be honest. Jim, how long did it take me to build the Rivendell set? Is that what you're talking about? Or do you mean this set here that I'm building at the minute? How long does it take me to get sort of as far as I am? Unfortunately, I have to do all my building in my study. I don't have internet connection in my garage. Well, there's a very sort of weak data signal at best, but it just wouldn't be enough to sort of do any streaming, so I kind of have to do all my streaming from down here. So I can't really give you a wee sort of look at what I've built and what's up there, unfortunately. Can't get this piece to go in. Come on, there we go. Hey Bricktours, how are you? You finished your stream? I'm determined to get this set built once and for all, so I'm just cracking on with it here. If it was the Rivendell set, I'm not sure exactly how long it took. Contrary to how this might appear right here, right now, I am sort of generally quite a quick builder. Once I kind of get started in this set, I tend to rattle through them, which is kind of a bit annoying sometimes because you sort of like to sort of be a little bit slower and enjoy them a bit more. But yeah, it probably took a couple of evenings, maybe slightly more, and then a rebuild. Whenever I moved, I actually built it. I was living with my parents for a little while before our house was built, and I built it from their house. So I had to transport it then down to where I am now, and it didn't do fantastically well in transport, so I had to rebuild quite a bit of it again as well. But this is taking shape nicely. Bricktours, are you gonna add the Snow White set into your city layout? Or is that just going to be a display set? this is almost finished in bag 12. It's quite a small bag, to be honest. I think I have a sticker coming up though, which always makes me a little bit uneasy. No bothers, mate. Thank you very much for popping in and for saying hello anyway. Have a good evening. All the best. Where on earth are these pieces going now? Oh, I see them. I'm not really sure how that's meant to fit in. Oh, okay. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? That's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to sort of. Oh, I just really want to get sort of working a bit more on my layout, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to getting this in. I think it will sort of be a really cool set, sort of to kind of build around. But I'm not sure exactly when I'll get to the point of doing what I, sort of getting to the actual stage of fleshing out my layout. Oh crap! There's a lot of stickers here. Right. This is when I'm gonna have to go into like a super concentrate mode for a minute. So do bear with me, folks. And one of them is quite a long sticker, which makes me even more uneasy. It's a long thin one. It's for the arrivals and departures board here. I'm actually shaking while I do this. So sad. Oh, that's why, because it can go so easily wrong. I absolutely hate putting stickers on. I wish, for goodness sake, that Lego would take a leaf from the likes of Lumi bricks and stuff and use more printed tiles. I imagine that'll probably put the price up a little bit as well, but even still. Right, I'm not actually going to put so we've got stickers here as well for the arrivals and departures. That's them there, these two. But if memory serves me correct, from watching somebody else's stream, these are maybe sort of in a funny position, so I'm going to wait until I have actually placed them in the set itself before I put them on, just so I can clarify that everything is where it should be. Because there's nothing worse than putting the sticker on and then not being happy with the position of it, or it just not looking right. So I know Robin Hood Bricks has patented a sugars. I've already made a mistake. That's an easily rectified one. Has patented a nice technique for removing bricks. And or not removing bricks, removing stickers from bricks. And do you know what? I know. I feel like, what do you think logically would come first in a station? The departures and arrivals board. Do you think the departures would be the first one, or the arrivals? I'm kind of a wee bit indifferent. I don't know if I'd expect to look up and see the arrivals first and then the departures beside, or the other way around. What do you think? That's kind of how it looks there. So then the other two stickers will go up here. But I don't know. I kind of feel like I would like it. I don't know if I can't. Laura, DVDP was coming to me there. I just can't take it. Do you want to ring him? What?
Max,
Right.
put it on.
Would you tell your mum before we go? Sorry, let's be back again. I had a phone call coming through there from my builder. Okay, anyway, yeah, so I'm not going to bother putting these stickers on at the minute. I'll come back to them at the end. They just kind of clip in here anyway, so there's no major drama to leaving them. I think I've missed a step as well though. Although, hold on, no. They go that way. And then they clip in there. Yeah, so the departures are first. There's nothing I can do about that. But I'm just going to leave the stickers up for now anyway. Okay, so that's how it looks in with the departure board up. Obviously I just need to put the stickers on there just with the actual destination and destination stations and times and stuff on the actual departure board itself. So that's it just sitting in here then, so it just hooks on and sits up that way, which is quite cool. Like that. I have missed a sticker here somewhere though, and it's a round one. I particularly hate round ones. I have this canny neck of putting them on the way I think they should go, and then when I place the actual round plate onto whatever stud is going on, it's slightly offset. So I think was it on the Orient Express set, it had like there was maybe just round pictures or a mirror or something like that there that had a reflection in it, and I put it on the circle what I thought was the right way, but then whenever I placed the circular tile onto the the studs that was going on, it was sort of turned around at like a small angle. So I learned my lesson here, and I'm placing it on the studs first, and then I'm gonna try my best to get this sticker on sort of as straight as possible. I don't think I've done too bad there. What do you reckon? Anyhow, so I'll just place that in. That just goes above the door for the little cafe and restaurant on the side of the station. And that brings us to the end of that bag then. So we're moving on to now bag 13, which is going to sort of have us building up the kind of front of the station a little bit more. So I'm just going to grab these bags. There's 2 bags in this stage, and quite a few parts actually. I think we have another round sticker, which is not something I'm overly enthusiastic about. Right, what's up next then? So yeah, we've got a plate work going on here at the front. Okay. Some lovely details in this. I like sort of how they've used all these little sort of, I don't really know what you call these pieces. They're like the little, I like these here little ones here. Little plates with a little sort of bar hole in the end of it. Little bits of pieces like that, just to create sort of a bit of a more ornate look. It definitely makes it a bit more interesting. I'll just call them a plate modified for now. Not 100% on all the names. It gets a bit hard to remember them all sometimes. Yeah, we're just kind of building up the section that goes above the front entrance then into the station. And that's where the big brick cross sign will go. Anyone joining in case you don't recognise this set, it's one of the Bricklink Designer Program sets from Series 2. Bricklink Designer Program being sort of a crowd-funded line of sets released through Bricklink where designers submit set ideas. Hey Anakin, welcome back. How are you? So yeah, the every few months a number of sets get chosen, and then they sort of go into a crowdfunding process where you can secure your set as long as it hits the minimum required sort of number of purchases. And there's like a limited run, and once they're done. So they're relatively exclusive in a sense, but they're very cool. So there's been, I think to be honest, can't remember exactly what we're up to. There's been at least 4 full series of this, and then there was like 2 prior to it that were slightly different. That's the closest I've got. Although, funnily enough, I was sorting out. It's not green, obviously. I was sorting out some bulk recently, because I've kind of been getting a lot of my sort of bulk Lego put away into part bins. God, sounds so American to say it like that, into drawers and tubs. So yeah, I was sorting them out anyway, and I actually came across a whole bag full of 1x1 bright green plates, which I thought was quite curious. I'm not really sure why there was so many of them, but obviously that'll be handy for you right now. Are you still working on oh my goodness, the Daily Bugle? I was going to say, do you think you'll get it finished before I get this finished? But I suspect you will, on the grounds I'll only be working on this whilst I'm not alive, and I don't know if I'll be on again this week, so this might be as much as I get done this week, so I reckon you win that race. 4 floors in total, is there? I'll find a piece. No, there it is. Upside down, right in front of me. Okay. Is it an integral piece? Can you just build on and come back to it whenever it turns off, or? I know my wife is building, she's almost finished it actually, the Winnie the Pooh Lego idea set, and it was missing 2 wee sort of 1x1 tiles, but neither of them are in any way sort of integral to the build, so we just built on without them, and I couldn't even tell you where they were missing from now, to be honest, when we look at it. So sometimes you can get away with it. Me checking the bag. That old chestnut. Green. Oh, it's 2 different colours of green though. Is that the bright or the dark? That's the darker one, I think. so hard to make out some of these instructions on the screen. I think sometimes, well, I suppose if you zoom in, it certainly helps, but I find that the physical instructions are just a little bit easier to make out. You know, when there's a little variance in colour, especially, you know, when you're working with sort of the two different greens. I know sort of, if I hold this up to the camera, it'll be fairly obvious. You've got the two different colours here, but just when I was looking at the instructions, I kind of zoomed out. It just wasn't quite standing out to me. Oh, it's one of those stupid instructions, isn't it? Where it's, oh no, it's not. I thought it was a ×2 and I forgot to do the other one. It's a bit easier for myself if I bring the instructions a bit closer, save me having to go back and forwards. Yeah, that's what I would do. If it's only a small piece like that, I wouldn't be too hung up on it, and it might be easy enough to put it in at a future date if you do come across it. And there's nothing more frustrating than having a piece missing and not being able to sort of carry on with your build, but if it doesn't sort of impede you in any way, then just pretend it never happened. Alright guys, anyone just tuning in then, so we're just working our way through a Bricklink Designer program set here. It's Brick Cross Station, set number 910034. So we've been working on this now for a couple of weeks just on live stream, so just getting through sort of a bag or two at a time. So it's taken a little while, but we are getting there. It's a very, very cool build. If anybody wants to see any close-ups or any more detail, just drop me a wee message in the chat and I'll happily pause and hold up the camera so you can have a better sort of look around it. It is a very cool set and really good build. The old colour blindness then doing you over, is it? Hopefully that wasn't too difficult to fix, because that can be a bit of a pain, that. Right, another little planter going above a window here. I think that's all the pieces for it. There's a lot of windows in this set. I've actually just noticed that in this sort of central part, I don't know if you can kind of see it here, where the clock is, there's absolutely a ton of little windows as well, so it's never a huge fun putting the little sort of plastic parts in, but yeah, well that's true. Silver lining. You're not going crazy. How are you finding the build anyway? Is it an enjoyable one? Like I said, I obviously haven't built it, but I've seen a few people sort of diving into it a little bit, and the level of detail looks really cool in it. Well, funny, yes. Just as I was complaining about Windows, I was thinking you've probably got one up on me there, because Yes, it's got an absolute rake of them, hasn't it? At least there's a bit of variation to the kind of internals in each floor, which is nice. Sometimes with all those bigger builds, they get a bit lazy with the insides. But there's pretty decent detail from what I can tell on that one. I'm missing a piece. And bizarrely enough, I don't even have a spare one, and it's a piece that usually with it. Oh, there it is. How do you put them on? I do find now that using a brick separator does help. It still requires a wee bit of patience, but it just means that if you sort of get it angled a wee bit wrong to begin with, you can kind of use the separator to peel it back off again before you know it sort of adheres totally. That's kind of what I have got into the habit of doing. I said it's not always perfect, and there's quite a few stickers in this set, so it's definitely not my favourite thing, but anyone else got any sort of good techniques for stickers? Can't imagine there's too many people out there that really enjoy having to put stickers on sets. But any help is welcome. I used to use a wee pen knife actually, but I don't know where it's gone. The great thing about it too was if you did get it wrong and you had it fully put on, you could, in theory, sort of sneak it back off again without doing any damage to the bricks themselves, but it didn't always work. You know, I'd definitely give the separator a go. You kind of just, you know, just take the end of the sorry, 1 second. Just concentrate on it here. Yeah, you sort of just take the end of the sticker on the sort of tip of the brick separator, and then you can just sort of lightly hover it on to the actual brick itself, and then when you're 100% confident with how you have it lined up, you can sort of ease it down and then pull the separator out. It's definitely not foolproof, but anything that helps a little bit is definitely worth it. That could be my tip of the day for you, but don't come after me if it doesn't work for you. Alright, so we're getting up nicely here now. Sort of really cracking on with the kind of, well, I suppose it's the second floor, albeit you know the actual internals of the station itself is fully open. It's a good solid build. And just like I said, there's not a huge amount inside it, but there's still a nice level of detail. It's still interesting. You know, it's still a nice build to look at. A few more of these wee gold bull horns here, just add that nice wee detail sort of above the windows and doors. Hey everyone that's watching, thanks for tuning in. Drop us a wee hello. Let us know how you're getting on or what you're building at the minute. Drop us a wee sort of sub and a like as well if you'd be so kind. It's free to do, helps out the channel massively. If you're not interested, then that's good. To be honest, I kind of started this channel just to sort of motivate me to get to get building, and to get sorting through all my sort of boxed up sets. So I've got like a series of unboxing videos going on at the minute. So I had sort of alluded in the past to the fact that I just sort of built a house and moved in. Part of that was for a lot of the time living in a mobile home on site, and obviously didn't have a huge amount of space then for Lego, but I kept buying it, so everything just sat in boxes in my parents' roof space, and I sort of slowly moved it all down and just stuck it all in my garage. So I just kind of started just recording myself unboxing my way through that, just to sort of motivate me, and it definitely helped. It sort of pushed me to get everything sort of out of boxes and onto the floor. So do check that out if you have the time. I have it actually as a little playlist. You can sort of work your way through them all. It's not exactly exhilarating viewing, to be honest, and my production skills are a million miles from great, but there's a lot of interesting sets in there. I know I enjoy sort of watching people poking through sets, so it might be of interest to someone. Alright, Anakin, if you're watching, I'm going to put a sticker on here. I'll sort of show you the little technique I use. If you're not, then sauce. So I'm just going to stick it on there just so it's kind of in a solid place. So I've just got like a 1x6 white tile here, and then I have this sticker here that's going on. So you can just see how I've popped the sticker onto the end of the brick separator. And then I'm just going to sort of put I'm going to have to stand over this just so you can see it. Just pop the sticker onto one end. No, I'm not happy with how that's lined up, so I can just pull it back off again. And then when you're happy with how it's lined up, no, I'm still not happy. This one's not going so well. But that's kind of the good thing about it. You can keep sort of lifting it off until you're happy with the placement. And there we go. And that's that. It's a wee tad in from the left hand side, but it's not too bad. And we're gonna have another one here to go right above it. There's only a little one though, so I'll just crack on with that very quickly. Still a few more stickers to go in this set, so if you haven't seen that, I can show you again. You can let me know. Perfect. That looks good. I'm happy with that. So that's kind of where we're up to with the front of the station, just to give you an update. So we've added these windows in with nice detail on either side with the ingot pieces, and then these little horn pieces, and then the little flower as well on the 2x2 jumper, and then some nice arches just to sort of add a wee bit of shape and intrigue. And then we've got these nice little window boxes sitting in the windows here. So we'll crack on, we'll keep going. That's a fantastic question. And an incredibly hard one to answer, and when I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to get all these windows over and I can start working through them. My favourite set that I've ever built. So I'm going to answer this a couple of different ways, and then feel free to share as well what yours are. So yeah, I'm going to look at this a couple of different ways. So the favourite set that I have in my collection, and I suppose thus I have built, is the Metroliner train. I can't remember the set number, I think it's 4558 or something like that there. So that's a train actually from 1991, and for me is still my favourite Lego train of all time, and I would argue that it is the greatest Lego train of all time as well. And I'm happy to argue that one out with anyone. Now it's kind of the only set I have remaining from my childhood, and it's one that it just meant a lot to me. It's just there's a lot of sentimentality to it. It also looks the part. It wasn't an incredible build. It was from some time ago as well. So, but it is the favorite set I have in my collection. More recently, actually, I really enjoyed building the Tudor corner, the modular from last year. And I thought that was a really good build, and a really good set. It's probably my favorite of all the modular line. I also I do really like Assembly Square as well. So there are two really good sets. I love the Titanic, but again, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a fun build, but it's a very cool set. Rivendell, though, I think is arguably one of the finest sets that Lego have ever built. So there's a few there. I'm sorry if that doesn't quite nail it down to one set the way you would like, but you know, those are probably the sets that kind of resonate most with me that I can think of anyway. There's some smaller ones which are really cool as well. But what about you? What would you say your favorite set is that you've built, and maybe the favorite set in your collection, and also the your favorite set from an actual build perspective? What I think this sort of stands out. Oh crud! So we've got another sticker here, and this is a particularly difficult one because it's a little ring one, and it also is a clock. Oh, I feel like I've done something wrong here. Not sure I have. So we've got this to put on now. I'm not overly enthusiastic about placing it. I think I've done something wrong here though. No, maybe not. So let's see. I also need to make sure that I get the numbers in the right place. Although I don't think it's going to matter too much because I think it'll spin around. But even anyway, we'll try and get it right here. Do you know, that was actually really easy because you sort of have that little centre bit as a guide. It kind of just slots in nicely. So there we go. Good nice little clock then to go. That goes at the front of the station above the entrance. So that's nice. And that just slides in there, so it does spin around. Presumably intentionally. And then a couple of wee handles to go on as well. And then we can set that time to whatever we want. And then that just goes nicely in there. And then I'm gonna turn it around so that the 12's at the top, and it is, what time is it? 10 to 10, so we'll actually make it roughly 10 to 10 there we go. So about 10 to 10. So that's how that's looking now then, with a few little stickers and stuff put onto the front. It's just kind of bringing all the life a little bit, you know. It's nice. I like that clock. It's quite an interesting clock, that. I like this sort of bar piece here, or not a bar piece, this circular piece here that kind of runs around it. It creates a nice frame. So the main ones that I've built are the house from home alone. Yeah, it's very good. I have to admit, I really liked it. I love, do you know what's really good about it is the internal detail. There's just so much going on inside it, and all those little sort of shout outs and nods to the set itself. I also really enjoyed how, you know, you could kind of build it almost as an advent calendar because there's 24 bags. So you build a bag a day in the lead up to Christmas, which is what I did. Yeah, so that was good. So yes, I totally agree with that one. It's a really good set. I actually forgot about that. Doctor Strange's Sanctum. I haven't built the Sanctum yet. I have both Sanctums actually, the older one and the newer one. I haven't built either. But I will do. Well, maybe less so the older one now. I kind of have bought it prior to the new one coming out, and then when the new one released, kind of made the older one sort of a little bit more redundant, to be honest. But we'll see. But yeah, the new one, I really like it. Some people complain about sort of the internals on it and how it's all a bit cramped and awkward, but I think it's cool. But I love my Captain Rex helmet. I love the way the side part of the helmet came together. You know what, the helmet line's cool. I don't have any of them. Well, I say I don't have any of a few of them, but they're more for investment of a few of the Dark Trooper, a couple of the Anakin Red 5. And maybe Mandalorian one. I did have Boba Fett as well, but I've kind of moved it on. Well, they are very cool. They're really well built. I do like them, but again, I think as I alluded to sort of in a previous evening, Star Wars just isn't really a line that I'm overly concerned about collecting. So okay, that doesn't quite make sense. I've done something wrong here. Bear with me, I've made a wee bit of a mistake here, so I just need to go back and fix this. It's all kicking off. Sort of outside the room too, there's a few wee kids over in there. I think my daughter's on playing another game with her friends, and they're running around sort of tormenting her. It was always great, so there's a bit of noise going on out there, so apologies if you can hear all that screaming. How many of the helmets do you have? Do you have them all, or? There we go, that's that fixed. I think. Turn that around so I'm looking at it the right way. Brilliant, we're sorted now. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, studs. Some more cool details there. Yeah, it's almost like a little train carriage hanging from the side of the building. Let's just sort of join in the stream. Hi, how are you? Thank you very much for tuning in. In case you don't recognise the build, it's a Brickcross Designer, not Brickcross Designer, Bricklink Designer program set. It's the Brickcross Station 910034. So just been building through this over the last few nights, and we're making sort of good steady progress. Hopefully a few more streams will have it finished, which is cool because I am really keen, as I said, to get this done and get it up into my room. Good luck. Don't rush it. Right, another wee clock going on here. This one a print, thankfully not a sticker. And we're just replicating this little design then on the other side, I presume. Come back here. Ugh. Oh, excellent. That's good to hear. You'll know to do it that way from now on then. Like I said, it's a good wee technique. That's kind of one that sort of works for me. You just have a wee bit more control over what you're doing. And a wee safety net if it doesn't quite go to plan, because you can sort of rip it back off again before it's fully stuck down, so that's good. Okay, just a bit more tile work now down this side. And have you watched One Piece by any chance? Or is anyone else that's sort of hanging around in here? Anybody else watch One Piece? Series I tried to watch some time ago and it just didn't really sort of grab the attention of me or my wife at the time, but obviously with all the Lego sets releasing, it's really kind of come to attention again, and I'm just slightly intrigued by it now. I think this will probably be oh yes, of course, it's anime as well, but you haven't seen sort of the Netflix series of it then. I'm not really into anime, to be honest, so but yeah, the Netflix series just kind of grabbed my attention a little bit of late, and just sort of trying to gauge, is it worth my time or not? I'm almost finished this bag, and that'll be me wrapped up for the night. I think I'm not going to do any more because it's quite late. Or it's getting quite late anyway. Just a couple of wee lights in to go inside. And then, I don't know what that is, maybe like a wee sort of loudspeaker or something for a tannoy system. And that's us done. However, I have a few pieces left over here. And one of them in particular I don't feel like I should, but I can't see anywhere that it would go, so we'll leave it there. Okay, I guess that's going to do me for tonight then. So we'll just give a wee run through again here then of the actual set itself. So again, there's a nice view of the front, so where we've got built up to. So obviously we've got this second sort of story going on there. Cheers, Anakin, all the best. We've got this nice window at the front of the clock. We've got a wee bit of signage and all this kind of ornate sort of decorative work around the front. We've also started building up around the top floor of this little cafe kitchen area on the side, and we've done all the window and brickwork around the back side here, and then obviously on that side as well. And then inside you can just see there's just a few wee stickers representing the departures and arrivals and stuff like that. So that's where we're up to anyway. It's taking shape nicely, it's looking really good. But I'm just going to wrap it up there anyway, guys. Thank you very much again for anyone that's tuned in and hung with me. Thank you, appreciate the time. Remember, give us a wee like if you're stopping by, and if you want to see this build finished, then I will be finishing it on sort of future streams. So drop us a wee sub anyway, and next time I'm online, you'll get a wee notification if you hit that bell icon, and you can sort of track this build through to the finish. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there anyway. Thank you guys. Good night.